wreathjeweler.com. I recently did a video for Hero Arts using this stamp set, Antique Gratitude Bouquet. It's not my usual style. I tend to gravitate toward whimsical and fun, cutesy stuff, and this is a little bit more sophisticated. So, but when I saw it, I had a few ideas for it, so I knew I was going to be making multiple videos using this one stamp set. So, if you meet me at the stamp table, we'll get busy. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a regular drinking glass, and I have a little story about these drinking glasses. When my kids were teeny tiny, I found these at Crate and Barrel, these cow glasses, and I had my little, lollipop visions of them eating their peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and drinking their milk out of the cow glasses their whole childhood, and when they grow up, they'd be fighting over the cow glasses because, they were special because they drank out of them their whole childhood. And, well, they don't really drink a lot of milk. They drink it on their cereal, but they don't really drink a lot of milk otherwise, so there goes that. And then they were breaking, and my husband would blame that on me because I'm a little klutzy, and he would say it was totally my fault that they're all breaking, but I plead the fifth on that. And luckily the internet now is a lovely thing because I was able to Google search them and find them and buy a whole bunch more. So we will always have cow glasses for milk, and I envision my grandchildren will come and eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and drink out of the cow glasses like their mothers did. So in the meantime, I just did a really light outline around my, what became a wreath while I was chit-chatting. And that gave me the shape to then go by. And if you see my practicing here, I practiced a couple different things. And what I ended up doing was just taking the stem and lining it up the bottom of the last leaf with the top leaf on the previous one, if that makes sense. And then I just did it all around. But if you have any kind of leaf stamps like this, practice on scratch paper first and get placement down. It took me 4 tries before I got it right. So now I want to use this Impression Obsession stamp and do some background stamping. I'm going to do my Versamark first, and actually I don't need to ink the entire stamp if I don't want to, because the middle here is going to be covered. So I have my Versamark down, and then I'm going to add Rose Red. This is a darker pink. I'm using Pink Pirouette. This ink and this cardstock are Stampin' Up. Now when I lay my pink cardstock down, then I'm going to take this sheet and rub it. This way I won't get ink on my hands. But what this is doing is the ink is contacting the paper first and then the Versamark ink, so then it's going to be sticky and I'll be able to emboss it. So I'm grabbing Iridescent Ice embossing powder, and we'll cover that and we'll heat it, and we'll have a really great fun tone-on-tone embossed sparkly background, and it will be awesome. Takes just a minute to heat up, and then you will see as that embossing powder melts, it'll get darker, and then you'll just continue to do the whole background piece. As I'm assembling this, I'm thinking I'm not liking the white background. I don't think it's bold enough. Well, maybe it's not a matter of being bold or not. I just didn't think that it was working for me, so I think this basic gray cardstock is going to be more sharp. And I think I want some more of this pink background to show, so I'm just going to trim a little bit off the edge. For the next step, I want a little tag, and this is too wide for my wreath. So I cut a little piece of paper at 1 1/4 inches, and I'm just going to cut out part of this tag. So I have all these little pieces and parts hanging around, and I'm a little bit stuck. My idea was to do a little bow here and have the tag hanging out, but usually the tag is going to hang from this little circle and hang from the ribbon, and then once I put my bow over it, then you can't see that detail at the top anymore. So then I was thinking I would hang that like that, and I'm thinking the tag is just too big. So then I cut these thank yous out, and I may use these, but first I think I want to add these sequins. I was playing with a couple different kind of variations of these sequins on placement, and I think I'm just going to add them in the center of the wreath in the middle of the leaves, just kind of around in a circle. Probably kind of equally spaced around. All right, so I've got a couple ideas brewing here. There's so many different possibilities of how this card could end up turning out, and that's one of the fun things. As you watch, you may be thinking of different things that you would try, or you know, you may watch something that I do and think, oh, Catherine, what are you doing? Why didn't you try this? And if you do have those thoughts, leave me a comment. I would love to know what you would do differently, or if there's something that you really like that thought this think that makes this card work. I would love to know that also. I'm just adding a little bit of shimmer and glimmer here with this Wink Stella pen. We have a couple dogs in the house right now. We're dog sitting for a friend, and I think there's some activity going on in the cul-de-sac, so excuse the barking. Eva's home too, and she's watching some YouTube videos in the other room. I don't think she's watching mine though. What up? I am liking what this pen is doing to the thank you. This is rose red cardstock. It matches that ink that I used for the background stamping. And I think I failed to mention that I stamped this wreath again. I thought the first wreath, well, I wasn't entirely happy with it. I thought that the stamping was a little bit too dark. So I stamped it again, and I actually inked it and stamped off and then stamped on my paper because I wanted a lighter gray. All right, so I'm just going to adhere these fabulous letters to my project, and we'll go from there. I don't know if you can see the shimmer. Oh, there we go. Now I had a thought with this little tag. I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid glue, and I'm going to stick it right underneath that layer, and I'm going to tie it. And so I was able to still get this tag in here and add a little fun element to the side of this card. Now, before calling it a day on this card, there is one last little detail I want to add. This is just a teeny smidgen strip of rose red, which is the ink and cardstock color I'm using, and I'm just going to add it to this background. One little strip on each side. This will give just a little bit more visual interest, a last little finishing touch. Now, this card is not at all what I originally intended when I started stamping, and it always makes me chuckle when that happens. Be sure to leave me a comment and let me know if you would have done anything differently, or if there's a certain part of this card that you like the most. Be sure to subscribe and share this video not my friends, your friends. So share this video with your friends, and thanks for visiting with me today.